We have all gazed up at the night sky and wondered, what's out there?
With Picard Season 2 launching the return of Q, Guinan, the Borg Queen, and time travel, you can bet there are a lot of ideas on what is about to happen. Why does Q alter the timeline? Will Guinan finally reveal why she and Q hate each other? What does the Borg Queen have to do with it, and what exactly happened that Picard and his crew need to fix? There are as many theories as there are possibilities. Is it the creation of the mirror universe? Will there be time travel through multiple timelines? Is 7 of 9 hotter with or without her Borg implants? You know, the important questions.
I see the way your pupils dilate when you look at my body.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And after hours of scouring every frame of every trailer, painstakingly researching every public comment from the Picard set, and rifling through Akiva Goldsman's trash, okay, we didn't really do that.
Yes, we did.
But our in-depth research has helped us figure out exactly what we believe is about to happen during Picard Season 2. And do you know what no one is talking about? That's right, Romulans.
Romulans, Cadet Kirk, I think you've had enough.
Get ready, because we are about to blow your Trekkie mind. Picard Season 2 is nothing like you thought it was going to be, so you don't want to miss this episode. Also, make sure you stay tuned until later in the show, where we are excited to show you why Magic Spoon is going to give you the sweetness you crave without packing on the pounds. And if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please do so now, and give us a thumbs up if you want more news about your favorite shows. Also, click the notification bell to never miss an episode. And make sure you stay tuned to the end to see how to get this awesome Star Trek Picard winery-inspired graphic design from the amazing artists at MixTees.com. Wild speculation about Picard Season 2, and specifically Q's role in the show, is all over the internet. Thanks to Jean-Luc asking Q, "What is this? What have you done?" Star Trek fans have been united in believing the godlike being and thorn in Picard's side is the reason the future is being turned on its head. But we don't believe this is the case at all. The reality is that Q has come to help Picard under the guise that humanity's trial never ends, much in the way he has done throughout his long relationship with Jean-Luc. If you are interested in all the ways Q has actually saved the Federation, you can check that out in a previous video we made at the end of this one. No, it seems as if Q, as much of a trickster as he is, and as much as he'd probably love to take credit for everything bad happening to Picard in his time, the real villains here are the Romulans. But hold on to that thought for a moment, and let's start at the beginning. Our story begins with Jean-Luc back at Chateau Picard. He is alone, but being watched over by Laris. But it is being hinted at that perhaps Jean-Luc is not happy. Rafi is now the Chancellor of Starfleet Academy, where she is teaching and watching over Elnor, who is the first Romulan cadet at the Academy. Seven has rejoined the Fenris Rangers, and she is the captain of the La Sirena. According to the Ready Room, Seven and Rafi are in some sort of a relationship, although they are apart and uncertain about that future if there even is one. Soji and Jurati are on a diplomatic tour trying to make connections with other planets to convince them that synthetics are good and want to enter galactic society. Captain Rios gets pulled back into the Federation as the captain of the Stargazer. Yes, that Stargazer. NCC 2893, captained by Picard until he lost it in 2355. Captain Rios' ship is likely a newer model, but it won't stop Jean-Luc from having a reminiscent moment. Back at Chateau Picard, Jean-Luc finds himself suddenly in a different reality. Something big just happened, and it shakes him to his core. He looks up through his atrium skylight and sees a hexagonal grid in the atmosphere. As he explores a now uncharacteristically unkempt home and unable to find Laris, he sees that things are different. He's wearing different clothes. He sees an unrecognizable painting of a more militant, younger version of himself. He also sees a painting of a much more aggressive-looking USS Enterprise laying waste to the Borg. This image will become critical to the story, but hold on to that thought for a second. It's at this moment Q shows up and Picard, already out of sorts, begins to accuse Q for what is going on. And why wouldn't he? Bad things always happen when Q is around. Although this time there is something different. Q is not the puckish Mercutio of old. It's what they wanted, and I think that it makes sense. These were John Delancey's words back in June of 2021. So we aren't getting the same jovial, sarcastic rascal that we are used to. And he also says what they wanted, and I think it makes sense. This means a more somber and serious Q. It is as if Q is aware of what's going on, but he doesn't like it. And as much as he likes Picard, true to his nature, he allows what has happened to serve as a new test for humanity. Picard begins to gather his La Sirena crew. Somehow they are aware that they are no longer in their same reality. In this new reality, the Earth is governed by a despotic regime ruled by Jean-Luc himself. In this version of time, the Earth and the Federation are more militaristic and less open to the influence of outsiders. Picard finds himself needing to play along until he learns what changed in history to create this alternate mirror universe existence. And of course, the key to learning what happened is Guinan. Picard pays her a visit and they have a reunion. After catching up, she confirms that reality has changed and that Q isn't fully responsible for what's happening. Guinan is able to tell him what the event is and when it happened. Picard knows they have to travel back in time to get their lives back, and it's then that he remembers that in this time, the Borg have been stopped and their queen is captured. Remember the painting of the Enterprise taking out the Borg? Picard would remember from Star Trek First Contact just how easy the Borg can travel through time, and see his opportunity to use the Borg Queen to go back in time and fix what was changed. Once Picard and the La Sirena crew steal the Borg Queen and connect her to the ship's engineering section, the current Federation leadership finds out what Picard intends to do and launches a stop-at-all-cost attack on the La Sirena using ex-Borg soldiers. And paying homage to Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, the La Sirena slingshots around the sun and arrives in the year 2024. And just like Kirk, Spock, and the rest of the Enterprise crew in The Voyage Home, Picard and his crew have similar fish-out-of-water experiences on a contemporary Earth. As seen in the trailers, driving a vehicle won't be as easy as driving a spaceship. So what exactly are Picard and his crew there to do? Surprisingly, it has something to do with Ben Sisko from Deep Space Nine, Colonel Philip Green, and World War III, which takes place only 2 years later in 2026. But before we break your brain with Captain Sisko, let me quickly tell you why if you are struggling on a keto diet or trying to lose weight, you are going to love this video's sponsor, Magic Spoon.
What is all the Magic Spoon doing on the floor? Bro! Is that all our Magic Spoon?
Just my half?
Ah, come on!
We love Magic Spoon cereal so much, we were excited to be able to share our experience with our fans. If you haven't tried Magic Spoon yet, then prepare to have your mind blown. It tastes like a childhood favorite sugary cereal, but it is high in protein, low in carbs, and sugar-free. Yes, it tastes awesome, and it's sugar-free. We were miserable on our keto diets until we found Magic Spoon. It's exactly the meal or snack you need to get you through your weight loss journey or just help you keep the weight off. You aren't going to believe it's sugar-free when you taste it. Give yourself the treat you deserve without the guilt. Go to magicspoon.com/popcast and get $5 off your order when you use coupon code POPCAST. Feel like a kid again and order Magic Spoon today.
Don't even think about it.
We're going to attempt time travel.
Thanks to a transporter accident while the USS Defiant was in orbit around Earth in 2371, Captain Sisko, Dr. Bashir, and Jadzia Dax find themselves in San Francisco on August 30th, 2024.
That's impossible.
What happened?
Well, I stabilized the beam, but according to our sensors, they never materialize at their destination.
At this time in Earth's history, the American government began reacting to serious problems associated with the poor. Initially intended to provide free housing and food for people, the sanctuaries that had been made quickly degenerated into inhumane internment camps for the unwanted. Sisko and Bashir are taken to one of these camps in San Francisco. While there, a man named Gabriel Bell is killed while trying to help them. Realizing he had changed history, Sisko assumes Bell's identity, and when the harsh living conditions are witnessed during what would be called the Bell Riots, it changes the way the United States deals with its social issues. It is even believed that the Bell Riots are so significant that their absence from Earth's history led to an alternate timeline in which the United Federation of Planets was never created. We know that the Sanctuary Districts are a part of Picard Season 2, as we've seen glimpses of them in the trailers. We even see a scene of Captain Rios being apprehended on a bus, similar to what happened to Sisko and Bashir. Despite the Bell Riots' importance to history, Earth would still fall into a nuclear conflict only 2 years later. While we don't know many specifics about who was responsible for nuclear war, a man who played a key role in the outcome of humanity during that time was Colonel Philip Green. During a Picard Season 2 trailer, we see a young boy walking through the woods with a flashlight, and he comes face to face with what appears to be Vulcans. The lead Vulcan begins a mind meld with the boy. We believe this event takes place in about 2014. The boy, a future Colonel Philip Green, would go on to be responsible for the deaths of 37 million people. We also believe those Vulcans are actually Romulans, and they've come into the past to change the future of Earth, ultimately creating this quasi-mirror universe. Before we get into the time-traveling Romulans, let's first address Green. It's more than a hunch that we believe this child is the future Nazi-esque despotic military leader whose motto was to overwhelm and devastate. Picard Season 2 co-showrunner Terry Matalas is best known for his work on the series 12 Monkeys. But do you know what show Matalas also worked on? Star Trek Enterprise. Serving as a production associate on the show, Terry was in the thick of everything happening at the end of Enterprise, and that included the two-part shows of In a Mirror Darkly and the two-part shows Demon and Terra Prime. Matalas helped craft the Mirror Darkly episodes, which shows us what happens to the Federation when Zephram Cochrane shoots the Vulcan that lands at first contact and essentially creates the Mirror Universe. He also worked on the next two episodes, which focused on Colonel Philip Green and the legacy of his atrocities. Enterprise writer Manny Coto said he thought Green would fit well in a plot with the Augments, and that he always thought Green was somehow involved with the outcome of the Eugenics War as well. This led to the creation of the character of Eric Soong, a descendant of Dr. Noonien Soong, the man who created Data. Kodo always felt that a Soong descendant would have something to do with augmentation, and Picard show co-runner Matalas was right there with him working through those stories. Now, note that by his own admission, Brent Spiner is playing yet another descendant of Dr. Soong in Picard Season 2. We see clips of him holding up what looks like a calling card from Q, as well as accepting a blue vial from him as well. Romulans, Soong, and Green, oh my. We have a lot going on. How do they all connect? We believe Q is giving the Soong descendant biomimetic gel. In the future, it will be forbidden by the Federation as it is a liquid substance used in the study of genetics. We believe Q has adjusted this substance to help fight against assimilation from the Borg in the future. This is what allows the Federation to easily defeat the Borg and capture their queen, which then allows Picard to travel back in time to fix things. This is why we believe Q is not responsible for what has happened, but because he will never outright help Picard, this small but helpful outcome is something he will do. So why did the Romulans do this? And why did they mind meld with young Green? Romulans aren't even supposed to be able to do a mind meld, as when they rejected the Vulcan way, they lost nearly all of their telepathic abilities. But as we've seen, Commander O was able to do a forced mind meld. It is also later revealed that she is a half Vulcan and half Romulan hybrid. We believe one of the same hybrids is responsible for this mind meld on behalf of the Romulans. But why? It was to change the outcome for the Romulan Star Empire after their people were destroyed when the Hobus star went supernova. Millions of Romulans were killed, and many of the survivors blamed the Federation for not doing enough to help. While it was determined that the Zhat Vash was responsible for the event on Mars that destroyed the evacuation effort, we believe there are Romulans who feel that the close relationship between Vulcan and the Federation was ultimately responsible for not being able to save Romulan lives. These Romulans created a plan to travel back in time, mind meld with Green to show him what would happen in the future and stop Earth from allowing the Vulcans to take them under their wing, thus allowing the Romulans to develop a relationship with Earth first. World War III never happens. Cochrane builds the first warp-capable ship earlier than expected. Earth, stronger after not decimating its population and led by the militant Green, creates a future based on strength instead of peace, and the Romulans believe they have created an ally who will help them survive and thrive following the supernova. You may be thinking, well, how did the Romulans time travel? Easier than you realize. Remember the episode of Deep Space Nine we were talking about earlier? The reason Sisko could time travel at all is because a Romulan cloaking device caused chronotons to build up on the Defiant's hull, resulting in time travel. So because Romulan warbirds run on artificial quantum singularity drives, and quantum singularities frequently result in time travel, it's something that can totally be explained.
Wait, what did you just say?
Oh, damn time travel.
So the real question is, can Picard and his crew convince Green, who is now in his early 20s, that the Bell Riots must take place, and that nuclear war must happen so that the natural order of things happens as it should? We will have to wait and see. What do you think? Could it be the Romulans, or is it just Q up to his old tricks? Do you think the show producers can pull off a timey-wimey series? Let's talk about it in the comments below. Also, check out this incredible Star Trek Picard winery-inspired graphic design from the amazing artists at mixtees.com. Get 20% off your purchase by using coupon code THEPOPCAST. The link is in the description below. Hungry for more current pop culture news? Then make sure you head over and subscribe to the Popcast Unleashed for daily content. Hear us talk about all of your favorite things. Click on the link in the description below. Until next time.
I think the reason that the franchise has been so successful for 30-something years, well, the thing that makes it so unique as well, is because it's an optimistic view of the future. Everything else that we see is so pessimistic and so dark and so nihilistic. And this shows a positive portrayal of what could be in the future.
Don't want the show to end? Become a Popcast member by hitting the join button to get exclusive content including special member live streams, Discord privileges, behind the scenes access, and so much more. Click join and let's hang out.